1 2 1 2 1 2. We're going live, baby. We're going live. All right, so let's just see if there's a couple of people that will jump in the live. Yeah, breaking news, man. Canelo's coming back in May. The face of boxing, the pound for pound, the numero uno, the cash cow. You know, Canelo, man. Crawford. He can't even get, never had a mega fight, man. He's pound for pound. ESPN. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Andre Ward is a big time hater. He's got Canelo number 5. Shut your mouth, man. These guys don't know what boxing is, man. This guy's taking all the risks. Moving. He's really a 154 pounder. He's only like 5'7" on a good day. Putting tips on big guys. Come on, man. He's the real deal, Holyfield, man. You could ask freaking Andre Ward that, and he'll tell you, oh no, he's capped, man. He's a hater, though. You could tell. I used to like Andre Ward. He's a big time hater, man. I don't respect him, man. But yeah, let's get some people in here, get some questions. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one in English. It's breaking news, man. Canelo's coming back. But I'm saying he's gonna come back. I have some names at 168, but I think he's gonna come back at 175, man. He really wants to get that ball back. He wants to get that back, run it back. You know what I mean? And he in Canelo's history, man, you could tell he gets better if he takes an L. The L's not for lose. The L's for learn. And we seen what happens when he fought Mayweather. He came back. It was a new Canelo, and this became the pound for pound number 1 Canelo, the undisputed Canelo as we see now. He took an L. Came back, fought Triple G, fought with an injured wrist, and he's been fighting with that injured wrist since the Caleb Plant fight, and that's where you make your money, man. I get it if he had an injured elbow or injured, you know what I mean? This is his wrist. This is where the jab, you know what I mean? Jab is everything. This is where you make your money. This is how you hurt people, and if you're hurt, if your hand hurts, your wrist hurts, it's really mentally and physically draining, man. You're not fighting 100%. Canelo's the undisputed champion, and they say, right? They say that it's easier to gain a title, but it's harder to defend it. And imagine if you have four titles. He's undisputed at 168. He has 4 titles. He got the 4 titles in less than a year and a half. And now he's a bullseye. It's harder to defend it. It's easier to gain these titles. He made it look easy work. His road to undisputed, man, it's just a year and a half, man. He beat fighters in their prime, and look at him now. So next year, yeah, he's the big bullseye. He went up to 175 to if you're the best, take the test, and he wanted to see where he was at, man. He believed in himself, and you know what? He took an L, man, but the L's for learn. So we see how he comes back, and he wants to get that get back with Bivol. So we'll see what happens. But I have a theory. I have some names at 168 if he decides to stay at 168. But if he wants to fight Bivol at 175, I have a theory. So I'm gonna break it down a little bit, and I'll give you guys an example why you need a tune-up after a major surgery, after surgery in your wrist. You know what I mean? So I'll give you guys that. Let me just gather my notes, and I'll break it down for you. Break it down for you guys. And if you guys agree or disagree, leave it in the comments. Leave a comment right now. Share, like, thumbs down, thumbs up. This live. All right, so ESPN. Let's start. Let's get the party started. ESPN broke the news. Canelo tweeted or made a statement. I don't know, but ESPN broke the news that Canelo's gonna come back in May. There was rumors he was back, that he might come back, but Canelo broke those rumors and made it 100% official with that tweet that he's ready to come back in May, and he's willing to fight the best. He even gave Caleb Plant and David Benavidez props, and he says that Benavidez is his favorite. And also in that tweet, he said that I'm willing to fight the best. So in other words, I'll see you, man. I'll see you. I think Benavidez is the favorite, but he's still gonna get exposed. Does he know how to cut ring? There's rumors now that Caleb Plant wants a bigger ring, and now you have to learn how to cut ring. Like when Canelo fought Billy Joe Sanders, and at the fight week, he's like, you know what, I want a bigger ring. Or I'm not gonna fight. And Canelo said, take whatever you want, man. Broke. He cut the ring off, chopped him down, broke his face, man, and they stopped the fight. So let's see if Benavidez does he know how to fight with his feet? You know, does he know how to cut ring? Does he know how to shut down the exits? Because Plan's got Plan has great feet, man, and now he's punching. He's sitting on his punches more, and Benavidez he when he stands, he puts both feet facing the opponent. You know what I mean? And you don't do that. And Plan just is gonna just go around, pivot around them. You know what I mean? So these are the fundamentals, and these are the things that we're gonna see from this fight. I still think Benavidez is a favorite, but I'm also seeing that we're gonna see the mistakes he's gonna get exposed of, because when you fight subpar competition, right? When you fight fighters that are not elite, little guys that are moved up, old fighters, and guys that are basically, with all due respect, taxi drivers, tomato cans. It's like you're doing a disservice to yourself, man. It's like you're not sharpening your tools. You're not facing adversity. You're not, you know what I mean? You're not stepping up your competition, because when you step up your competition, you step your game up. You know what I mean? And you to the next level. And he hasn't done that. It's because his promotion, or is his father, or whoever's his matchmaker, whoever's in charge of him getting fights. He said he can't get fights. And if you can't get fights, then move to 175, man. There's a lot of fights there. The Bivos, the Beterbiev. You could even fight Zurdo, Smith. You know what I mean? So let's talk about Canelo coming back. All right, so Canelo's just came back from surgery in his wrist. He's been fighting with that injury since the Caleb Plant fight, right? And he fought Bivol with that injury, so that affected him. And he didn't make no excuses. But come on, dude, your wrist is that's your, like, very important. Your hands are very important. You fight with your hands. He fought Triple G. Oh, he didn't knock him out. Well, yeah, because his wrist was messed up. But he didn't make no excuses. He gave him a boxing lesson. He beat him. And Triple G at the end tried to do something, but he wasn't really doing nothing. And Canelo had to pace himself, and still didn't want to hurt his hand. So he boxed, you know what I mean? Did he look 100%? Did he knock him out? No one has ever knocked out Triple G. So miss me with that, man. Andre Ward. So yeah, he went undisputed in less than a year and a half. Who does that, man? I mean, he went through training camps, sparring sessions, injuries, you know what I mean? And fighting inside the ring and outside the ring, running. It takes a toll in the body, man. And he's the face of boxing, the cash cow, the numero uno, man. And these guys ain't fighting. Terence Crawford isn't fighting no one, man. He's pound for pound number one according to ESPN. Come on, you could miss me with that, man. Garbage truck. Juice. Shout out to IBFP. Hey, that's whack, man. Wacko tobacco, man. Crawford hasn't had a mega fight, man. They can't even get the Spence and Crawford fight, and Crawford's already going to be 35, 36. Come on, man. And he's pound for pound number one. Name a credible opponent, someone that's been in prime. Name a mega fight he's ever been in. I give Spence fight. He's been fighting the best in Premier Boxing, right? Without Heyman, he's fought, but he needs to fight Terence Crawford to see who's undisputed, who's the best at 147, to have that mega fight under his belt. You know what I mean? To distinguish him from the rest of you know what I mean? From the Beterbievs, from the Canelos, from the Usyks, from the Bivols, from the Tyson Furies, to say that, yeah, I am. And that fight would have made that statement. And once again, PBC, they can't make a deal. Once again, Crawford, he's his own boss, his own man, but he can't even make a fight, man. So, yeah, so Canelo, man, Canelo is coming off surgery, and when you come off surgery, you have to get a tune-up fight. And I'll give you some historical accounts, right? One of Canelo's biggest haters, man, is Andre Ward. Yeah, but guess what? Once again, his career, his words, his history comes back and bites him in the ass. When Andre Ward uh, came back from surgery, he fought 2 tomato cans before he fought Kovalov. All right, people are gonna, these haters, uh, uh, blue blood boxing, Dante's boxing, Dante's Fat Nation boxing, Ego boxing, Akai boxing. All these haters, they tend to forget. They tend to get amnesia in the historical accounts, man. When Andre Ward came back, he fought 2 tomato cans before he fought Kovalov. He fought Alexander Brand. Google his his record on boxingrecords.com. And Sullivan Barrera, another tomato can. And I understand you're coming off surgery, you're coming off an injury, right? And then he fought Kovalov twice, and of course they got him ready for the fights. And in case that injury occurs again, or in case something happens, you could work with your boxing abilities, and you could still, because that opponent isn't elite, is not dangerous because you're coming off an injury. I get it. I understand that, guys. I get it. Devin Haney, when he had shoulder surgery, he also fought a tomato can. Gamboa, Yurikas Gamboa. Everyone knocked him out, man. He's a tomato can. He's a Cuban tomato can. All due respect to the Cuban boxing, I love Cuban boxing, but this guy's, he was done, man. Everyone knocked him out. You miss and you still knock him out. You sneeze on him, you still knock him out. You know what I mean? He has a glass jaw, and I understand, man. You're coming off an injury. You have to get a tune-up fight to see where you're at. See if the injury's 100%. If that injury's 100% cured, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah. And if not, you have to go back to the drawing board, get second surgery or rest, etc., etc. That's what elite fighters do. That's what fighters at the top level do, man. You can't fight everyone, elite fighters, back to back to back to back. The body takes toll, and there's injuries, there's surgeries, etc., man. So Devin Haney and Andre Ward fought tomato cans after major injuries and surgeries. You know what I mean? So why can't Canelo do that? Why can't the face of boxing, the cash cow, the pound for pound numero uno do it? You know what I mean? So this is what I'm thinking, man. Canelo just broke the news that he's gonna come back, but the thing is, Canelo fought Bivol at 175, right? He moved up to 175, then he moved down to 168 to fight Triple G, and then he wants to fight Bivol in September. So the thing is, who is Canelo gonna fight at 168, or is Canelo at 175? Boxing is a game of chess, right? Boxing is a game of chess. You play chess inside the ring, but you also play chess outside of the ring. So if Canelo's going to fight Bivol in the rematch in September at 175, then Canelo needs to fight a tune-up fight at 175 to get him ready for Bivol at 175. Bivol looked phenomenal, man, versus Zurdo. So that's what Canelo needs to do, and that's logical. That's chess, man. But if Canelo is going to make Bivol go down, because Bivol's all about history, and Bivol stated in numerous interviews and a couple years back and after his win versus Zurdo, he's willing to come down to 168, because if he beats Canelo at 168, he becomes undisputed at 168. Then if he moves up to 175 and he fights Better BF to unify the belts and go undisputed, and if he beats him, he's undisputed at 175 with all the belts, and all the belts at 168. That's history in the making, guys. So that's why it's intriguing for him to go down and fight Canelo for his belts, and he's favored to beat him, according to a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my for Cholo Trucker and a couple guys, a couple YouTube channels. They've been saying that Bivol will still beat him at 168. I say no, man. So if he's gonna fight Bivol at 168, then he should get a tune-up at 168. But if he's gonna fight Bivol at 175, it doesn't make sense to him to get a tune-up at 168, then move up to 175 when he already moved down to 168 to fight Triple G. Let me give you an example, a little historical account. Again, when Floyd Mayweather fought Castillo Castillo was the champion at 130, 135. I forgot, guys. I have to Google this. It's been a while. Floyd Mayweather was a 130 pounder, I believe, and they moved up to challenge the champion off the fly. He didn't get a tune-up fight to fight to see where he's at 135, and he faced the champion, Castillo. Look at that fight. Mayweather lost, man, because he moved up to 135 off the fly without getting a fight, and that's what happens. Then he fought him in the rematch, and I believe he beat him because he got accustomed to the weight. When Roberto Duran fought Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran was a 135 pounder. I think he even skipped the 140 and he went to 147, but he had like about 3 fights at 147 pounds. Then he faced Sugar Ray Leonard and he beat him. He beat him, but he like I said, he had a couple fights to see where he's at. All right, Canelo, when he fought Triple G, he moved up at a catch weight. He fought Canelo Chavez Jr. at a catch weight to see where he's at, to fight a big man, see if he fades away, see if he could take a punch, see if his power moves up with him. Then he fought Triple G. And even that first fight, it was real close. You could tell Canelo at the end of the second half of the fight, he did get a little tired, man, because he wasn't used to that weight class, that 160 pounds. Then the second fight, Canelo, he felt that, you know what, I could do this. I'm already used to this weight. And guess what he did? He walked down Triple G. He made Mexican style Triple G fight backwards. So you see, he had the Chavez Jr. fight and the first Triple G fight, and then the third fight, he really got accustomed to that weight class, and then he beat Triple G the second fight. Easy work. I called it. He beat him. He made him go backwards, man. That's ring generalship. He made him look bad. You're supposed to be Mexican style. So Canelo now is a 168 undisputed champion, and then he moved up to 175. He fought Kovalev at 175 maybe a year ago, but Kovalev was he was done. I didn't like that move Canelo did, but yes, he had the belt, and I guess he wanted to make history, but I didn't like that fight. Kovalev was done, past his prime, so I didn't count that fight. I didn't even like that fight. I was kind of mad. But all right, he fought Bivol at 170 from 168 to 175 off the fly. Didn't get a tune-up fight to see where I'm at type of fight. And as we can see, Canelo at the second half of the fight, Canelo did good in the first fight, the first 5 rounds, and then second half of the fight, the 6 to 7, at the late round, he got tired, he faded away, he couldn't move, he couldn't. Either his wrist was messed up, and you could tell that wasn't his weight class. He faded away, and that's what happens when that's not your weight class. So, and then after the Bivol loss, he moved down to fight Triple G, and that's very dangerous, man. Look what happened to De La Hoya when he moved. He was fighting at 54. Then he moved. Then he fought Pacquiao at 47. He looked like a skeleton. He probably even was at 145 pounds or something. I don't know. He weighed like 145 pounds during the weigh-in or something. He looked like he was on crack or he had AIDS or something, dude. He looked like a walking skeleton, and he got destroyed. Roy Jones was moving up and down. He moved to heavyweight. Then he moved back down, and he got knocked out by Tarver, and he got knocked down by a whole bunch of people. Why? Because you're moving up and then moving down. You're moving up. Your body goes in a state of shock. You have to fight a couple fight. If you move down, maybe get a couple fights to see where you're at. You move up, definitely get a couple fights to see where you're at. And that's the thing. It's a chess game. Canelo's great at chess. He did it with Chavez Jr. at a catchweight to fight Triple G. But when he fought Bivol, they made a mistake. They thought, you know what? They felt it was easy, and they had a game plan, but they forgot that the body, you could think whatever, but your body reacts it reacted in a different way, and it went in a state of shock, and he faded away. He got super tired, and that's what happens. So yeah, man, I believe if Canelo's a chess player, I think Canelo's gonna get a tune-up fight at 175 in May, and then he's gonna fight Bivol in September at 175. But if Bivol comes down to 168, these are the guys that I think he should fight, and it'll make sense. And They're not that much of a risk, which one fighter is, but we'll see if he. I still think Canelo could do it. He if he stays at 168, he should fight John Ryder. Canelo stated he stated in interviews that he wants to fight in England in the UK. So I don't know exactly where, but he wants to fight in the UK. And John Ryder, he's a ranked number two WBO, um, and that guy's pretty good, man. He's big, he's strong. Um, they say even though it could be a tuna fight, but that it could be kind of dangerous too if anything goes wrong, if the wrist, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I'm also thinking a Charlo fight. Charlo's a 160 pounder, so he moves Charlo up to 168. They'll make it'll become a mega fight. It's a tuna fight because Charlo hasn't fought in a year. He's really a 160 pounder. But like I said, guys, Canelo's coming off a wrist injury and wrist surgery, so um, it evens out, right? He's not a 168 pounder, but Canelo's coming off of injury and surgery, so anything could go wrong. What if he jabs him or throws a left hook and he messes up his wrist again? So you know what I mean. So it evens out, and it will sell. You make that fight in Texas. Oh my God, it makes sense. It will sell out. But will it likely happen? Will Al Heyman feed it to Canelo? And if he does, Canelo has to make a contract with Al Heyman, and I don't think Canelo wants to do that yet. Um, but I think the best fight for him as a tune-up, it'll be exciting. It's Puerto Rico versus Mexico. It will sell if he fights in New York, but it'll sell if he fights in Vegas. Gabe Rosado, man. Gabe Rosado's game. He's a gatekeeper. He's not an elite fighter. He's a gatekeeper, and he will give you a fight, man. Does he have power? No. He knocked out what is his name? Bet Bully or something? I think that was luck, man. But it's Puerto Rico versus Mexico. Gabe Rosado's always in exciting fights, and hey, if Canelo doesn't take him serious, man, he will give you a challenge. So, and it's Puerto Rico versus Mexico. You know the Puerto Ricans, and you know the Mexicans, man. When they scrap, I don't know, it's magic. No matter what, it's a scrap. So, Gabe Rosado definitely is going to be game, and he's gonna wake up. He's really going to step his game up for that fight, man. It's Canelo, Cinco de Mayo, Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Gabe Rosado, he'll give you a fight, man. He'll give you a fight, and I still think Canelo, give him a boxing lesson, but it'll be a good fight, man. It'll be fun and exciting, and it's Puerto Rico versus Mexico, so they could sell that fight, promote the fight like that, so it automatically will sell, man. So I think he should fight Rosado at 168 to get him ready for Bivol if Bivol decides to come down and challenge Canelo for 4 of his belts for the undisputed titles. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Canelo, there's a lot of fighters, man. A lot of fighters coming up. Like I said, Benavides. There's the Cuban Morale. Caleb Plant still coming up, and there's a lot of work at 175, man. So Beterbiev, the Bivols, Colin Smith looking fire right now, and even Zurdo, man. That's a good fight right there too. Canelo, if he moves up, what if he gets a tune-up fight with Zurdo at 175, and then get him ready for I don't know, whoever. But yeah, I think right now it's Canelo. He's the bullseye. It's easier to gain a title, but it's harder to retain it, to defend it, right? So yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's when you're the face of boxing, man. You have to play chess, man. And like I said, I think that was a big mistake. That was a crucial mistake when Canelo fought Bivol. Canelo should have got a tune-up at 175 to see where he's at and then fight Bivol. So stay tuned for the breaking news. Canelo's gonna in a couple weeks or whatever they're gonna announce the opponent, and I'll break it down, man. I'll break it down the strategy, how this fight might go, this and that. But yeah, man, Canelo moving up and moving down, moving up. That's not smart. That's not chess, man. And I think Canelo's making a mistake if he's gonna fight Bivol 75 and he's getting a tune-up at 168. So if he gets a tune-up at 168, it's an indicator that I think Bivol's gonna come down and fight at 168 and challenge Canelo for the on 168 undisputed belts. So it can the one wants to make history, and that's a great way to make history if you're undisputed at 168, and then he goes up and then fights Better Biev and takes his belts and becomes undisputed simultaneously at the same time at 168 and 175. So stay tuned. Man, the 168, 175, man, it's exciting, man. And we still got Benavidez right there. Let's see if the kid, let's see if he can shine. But you know, this fight, we're gonna see if if his footwork is up to par in his defense. I still think he could beat him, but let's just remember, guys, not trying to be a hater, but the truth is the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts, right? Uh, Caleb Plant got knocked out by Canelo, and Caleb Plant knocked out Andre Durrell. Andre Durrell is a grandpa. I mean, okay, he knocked him out, but wow, Benavidez knocked him out, right? He stopped him, but wow, he knocked him out. But yeah, man, he's out of his prime. So yes, David Benavidez is gonna fight Caleb Plant, but Caleb Plant got knocked out by Canelo, man. That's Canelo's leftovers. So if he knocks him out early in the first couple rounds and he makes him easy work, then he makes a statement, right? Um, but I still think that he's gonna fight in a bigger ring. So now he has to learn how. He has to show that he can't just freaking uh, throw combinations, put his hands down. No, he's gonna have to fight with his feet. He's gonna cut. He has to cut ring. Caleb Plant's slick, man. He has good footwork and he has fast hands. He has to be defensive responsible. Can't keep his hands down and smile when he gets hit. He has to move his head, shoot shots, and remember to be defensive responsible. Keep his head out of the line of fire. He has to learn how to cut ring, exit. Yeah. So I mean, his foot. I want to see if his footwork's elite. Because when you fight Canelo, man, your footwork's got to be elite. Your defense got to be elite. You know what I mean? Your IQ has to be elite. Your chin has to be elite. And we seen what happened to Benavidez. He got dropped by what's his name? Vergal or something. I forgot his name. So his chin's a little suspect, man. And let's see if Caleb Plant hits him in the chin. See what happens if he shakes him a little bit. Although Caleb Plant is not known for his power, but he did knock out Andre Grandpa Durrell. But he's an old fighter, so we'll see. He's sitting in his punches a little bit better. Caleb Plant. So we'll see, man. We'll see. And yeah, and the Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis fight is about to get signed. It's not 100%, so I'm not that excited, but I'm kind of excited because finally they test each other. But I don't believe it until it's signed and sealed and delivered. And we'll see what happens because you see with the Crawford and the Spence fight, man, right? Oh yeah, they made it. Oh this. Trust me. And then look what happened. So, yeah, see what happens. And stay tuned. Remember, share, like, subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment. Let me know what Canelo's next move is going to be. What do you think? I mean, Canelo's a chess player, and he learns from his mistakes. So I think he made a mistake with Bivol moving up off the fly. And I give you guys a little historical account. And let's see what happens, man. But catch me right here. I'll continue to do some lives after fights. I'll break down what I see after fights. And you can catch me Los Tres Chingones Boxing on Wednesday in Spanish at 7 o'clock or on Fridays at 5 o'clock with Big Dave and Cholo Trucker. Los Tres Chingones Boxing channel on YouTube, my other channel, with my teammates. Los Tres Chingones. All right, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Mike Angelino Sports. What is Canelo's next move? Let me know. I'm Ghost.